right, all right, all right. Hey, it's your political innovators. I'm David Washington, your host, and your host, Joel Hawksley. We are Jay in Washington. This is the Jay in Washington Network. Today, behind the board, we have Aaron Santamaria. Thank you, Aaron, for filling in for John. Appreciate it. And you know something? We'll just jump right in. Orlando City Commissioners voted to pass an ordinance allowing the city to penalize anyone who blocks someone's way on the sidewalk, forcing them to find another way, or penalize anyone after law enforcement has already told them to move. Is this a solution to criminalize the homeless, to fine them $500, which, you know, they don't have, said one citizen. Let's go.
David, you can't make this shit up. This is absolutely one of those things. Like, we want a safe city. We want people to, we'd love to house the homeless. We'd love to find solutions to the homeless problem. But this is not a solution to it. And to say that, it's anything other than an attack on the homeless is a lie. Just as it infuriates me that right after an election that this type of ordinance gets passed by the city, especially since, Patty Sheehan, Buddy Dyer, and you'll say Burns is his last name. So
Commissioner Burns.
Commissioner Burns, you three just got elected, and you just slapped the homeless people in the city with arrest and fine by criminalizing blocking somebody on a sidewalk. How long is it? David, take over.
And of course, there were homeless individuals who went to the first hearing just before the holidays to discuss the ramifications of a ordinance like this, and it may not clearly state this is something to address or to deal with the homeless who are on the streets of Orlando. You see them downtown Orlando. It's not like there's a lot of traffic going on, foot traffic going on in downtown Orlando, but however, it's the unintended consequences. And one of the things that just came to mind in regards to unintended consequences is, what if there's a demonstration in front of City Hall, which is downtown, on the main thoroughfare of Orlando, on Orange Avenue, and people are protesting on the sidewalk? Someone could legitimately complain to the Orlando PD and say, I'm trying to get from the street to the entrance to City Hall. These people are in my way. Can law enforcement under this ordinance,
they have every right to, arrest them, fine them. Yes, David, that's a perfect point.
A peaceful demonstration.
Well, I just have to say, look, I'm trying to go from the Bohemian to City Hall. Hey, the sidewalk is full of people. I can't get in, even though I could go around to the back.
Right.
But still, David, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that the first time we were, having this conversation. But, let's go into, you covered what Patty Sheehan said about this, because I want to call bullshit. David, go over that again, what Patty said this ordinance was all about.
Yes. Commissioner Sheehan said, the problem is that everybody outside the bars, downtown Orlando bars and restaurants, is congregating outside the bars, blocking the sidewalks. And if you try to walk by, they call you names, and she's been challenged. However, the homeless are saying, this is something targeting them.
David,
that's Sheehan.
David, I call bullshit. This is, you can't make this shit up. You're saying that, but you didn't put a time frame. You could have simply said between the hours of X and Y, you cannot block the sidewalk. Mm-hmm. There's nothing in this ordinance to say, Patty Sheehan, Commissioner, you have a true legitimate point. Okay, you've got your. I'm sure that they don't. The ordinance for the metal detectors has a time frame because they're not setting those up all day, right?
Right, that's true.
Bullshit's bullshit. Yeah, this ordinance makes me angry.
Right. And again, this would apply to anyone, whether they're homeless, soliciting donations, expressing viewpoints, or gathering signatures. So again, unintended consequences, although this immediately affects the homeless population, but there is a caveat for citizens to understand this means you. This means if you're walking down the street having a conversation with Jehovah's Witness, with someone who's collecting petition signatures, if there is a peaceful gathering, petitioning the government, protesting city government, outside city government, the Orlando PD can walk up and say, move along. You don't. They walk up to you again, move along. You don't. Third time's the charm, you're arrested, jail time, $500 fine.
Oh, David, this is insane. This is definitely the you can't make this shit up moment.
The same folks with the Black Lives Matter.
I want to make sure. I want to make sure
on the
that
street.
I find out how you're going to blame Republicans for hating on people for this one, right? I don't think there's a single Republican that represents the city, and this is an attack on the Constitution, the First Amendment, big time. I think that, while Scott Maxwell of the Orlando Sentinel is beating up on Tallahassee for, things that, attack, all these laws that are coming out that, are not constitutional and have to be fought in court. This is clearly this is 100%.
This is one. Yes.
Government needs to read the Constitution. Let's have a good day. Let's have a day. Oh, we do have a day. It's called Constitution Day. I guarantee you not a single one of them read the Constitution on Constitution Day either. Listen, reread your Constitution because this is a attack on the First Amendment. Listen, I can't. The protesting, David, in this time with our conversation, with that protesting, and I'm not one would think about protesting because Republicans don't usually gather in that sense. That's Democrats eating their own.
We should test this law, first of all. We should test this ordinance.
Broadcast on the corner of the street and just not move. David, I've never wanted to get arrested before, but I guess that's a great thing to do.
I've been in that situation before back in Chicago. And speaking of arrests, Orlando has already had its first victim to this ordinance. It's already had his first arrest. Paul Clark, 62 years old, was sitting on the sidewalk in front of a nearby Taco Bell on Central Avenue and Orange. And he was arrested. He was sitting on the sidewalk within the downtown corridor of Orlando. He was asked to move along. He did not. He was arrested.
So I'm going to read the UCF rules and see how much we can get our interns committed to their project. They're not going to be voluntary for this one. Listen, David, I mean, honestly, I appreciate these type of topics because I always get tired of being beat up as a Republican and being lumped into we're haters. We hate on, race. We hate on this. This is hateful. This is hateful, and I can't see how you sat there on the dais and looked at this legislation and said, this is a good legislation. Mm-hmm. Hey, first of all, if I want to protest, I probably have to get licenses and everything else. Or, no, if I want to protest, it could be spur of the moment, and it could create itself off of one individual, right? One individual could be, on the sidewalk, have a license for where he's at, and then all of a sudden, bam, a bunch of people are out there. Now, did they get an ordinance? Did they get arrested? Did they get arrested because they want to protest and block the sidewalk? Do journalists hey, don't set your truck up. Don't put your stuff, your stuff out in the middle of the sidewalk, because guess what? You're liable to get in trouble too, because once you're set up, you don't want to have to reset up. So we'll just have 12, 13 people go over there and keep asking you to move, right? Because all they have to do by the third time, hey, we call the police, because they just won't move.
This is again unintended consequences. This is I don't think this ordinance was really thought out for a democratic city. This is going to affect all the protests and demonstrations that the Democrats have and other organizations. I shouldn't just say just Democrats, but the liberals, the conservatives, whatever. Someone can actually use this ordinance to shut down the demonstration. And we've gone down this road before with Orange County proposing that you are allowed to protest in a certain radius of a particular residence or office. And that was shot down very quickly, despite the support of Mayor Jerry Demings and Sheriff John Mina. We've had metal detectors in downtown Orlando. People are still shooting. Violence still happens. Gun violence still happens, despite the metal detectors. We've had other ordinances that allowed the ambassadors downtown to walk up and down the streets of downtown Orlando. To make sure that everything is safe and okay, and assist and information, things like that. Okay. Things just aren't working out. Where are the swans?
Look,
Also, we're looking for the swans in Creative Village, but that's beside the point. The metal detectors, another solution that's not really a solution. This ordinance, another solution which I believe will not be a solution. It'll be a hindrance.
The solution is to take these people out and make the city part of the county, and have the county run it, because listen, we have too many politicians. They're sucking the money. They're sucking the money right out of the county. Almost every dollar that you put in taxes is being eaten up somewhere in Orlando itself. I mean, if you're trying to live, Oh, and by the way, the ordinance should also say all protests, no matter what you're protesting, should be out of the convention center, so we can charge you for it and have you pay for the offset the cost of the convention center.
It's coming. It's coming.
Or hey, want to go protest? Go protest at the airport. So as the planes leave, you can't hear you. So this is a attack on the poor. This is an attack on the First Amendment. This is an attack on the city of Orlando. This is a battle where the city decided to attack the people, and they should attack back. This battle needs to be won by the people. This ordinance needs to be gone immediately. This is my final word is tragedy. Tragedy has hit Orlando with this type of continuous legislation.
My final word on this is this, particularly to Mayor Buddy Dyer, who will be celebrating 25 years as the chief executive of the city of Orlando when this current term ends. The homelessness problem has grown and become a greater problem under your watch. For the last 2 decades, 20 years, almost a generation, homelessness in Orlando has become a problem. The affordability to live in Orlando, to have affordable housing, has grown. The problem has grown under your watch. And the ordinance like this doesn't make it better. Kudos to the advocates, the homeless individuals who gave public comment during the discussion of this ordinance. A lot of attention is given to Orange County government. However, be aware of the things that are happening in city government and stay involved, stay aware, educate yourselves, continue your involvement, because there are things that are happening within the city that affect all of us.
Every single one of you is affected that lives in the city of Orlando, and you need to like, you need to share, you need to subscribe. That way you can get our newsletter, The Informer. You need to understand that the Jay in Washington is doing a lot for our community. We're trying to build the Leadership Academy. We're trying to get people where they understand the local politics so that we can have better voting. So we're doing a lot, and we need your help. We need your comments so that we can hear your opinion. Maybe we're off our rocker. Maybe we're dead wrong, but we'll at least admit it.
And we'll be at Podfest Expo. Podfest Expo 2024 here in Orlando, the weekend of January 25th. So hopefully we'll see you there. We'll be podcasting from Podfest Expo. It was a great experience in 2023, and we hope that it is a awesome experience here in 2024.
10th anniversary. So if you want to hear more about the Podfest, tune into the Morning Constitution, because that is the topic of the Morning Constitution, is Podfest, their 10th anniversary, and kind of a history so that you're aware of resources out there that you can use.
Like, share, hit the notification button. We want to hear what you have to say. Bring your facts, not your feelings. Be respectful to our community. Let us know what you have to say in the comments section. Thanks. We're out of here.